So I've been using the OnePlus 3T, yes, an Android phone, for about a week now. And I've actually really been enjoying the phone. It's been pretty good, even though this is a phone from 2016. I actually think it's still worth it in 2018. What's up guys, I'm Benji from Ben Tech and welcome back to another video. Now before we start off this video, I want to give a massive shout out to Dave West, also known as Mr. West, for sending me his OnePlus 3T to try out for a couple of weeks so I could actually experience proper Android. I've kind of liked it. It's 2018 now. This thing is about 2 years old, almost 2 years old. And it's actually a really good phone still to this day. So I split my review into 3 sections. The good stuff about the product, the bad stuff about the product, and sometimes there is some stuff that is not just bad, but ugly about products. So without any further ado, let's start off with the good stuff. So the first good thing about the OnePlus 3T is its price. Because this thing was released in 2016, 2 years ago, this thing has become super cheap and affordable for a lot of people. I've been doing a little bit of research and I have found some OnePlus 3Ts for about £200 to £300 depending on which condition you get it in. Still, for what you get, this thing is really worth £150 or however much you spend on it. So another thing that I have really liked about the OnePlus 3T is the display. This is a 5.5-inch AMOLED display. Yes, it's an AMOLED panel, and of course it's 1080p, so it's not anything special as a display. And overall, it's a great display. It displays colors quite vibrantly. And to be honest, I really like the look of this display. Another thing I like about the OnePlus 3T that actually makes it stand out from some other phones that were released in 2016 and even phones that were released this year is its design. This thing is super thin. It is thinner than my iPhone 10 for sure, but it's got an aluminum back, which is a little bit slippy. I find aluminum phones slippier than glass phones, but some other people disagree. I also love where the power button is placed. It's placed in the perfect position. And also the volume buttons are quite easy to reach. And I really like the ringer switch on this phone. Not many Android phones come with a ringer switch nowadays. And on the bottom of the phone, we have a speaker grill, and we also have a USB-C charging port, and we also have some hole which I don't even know what it is. So the OnePlus 3T is a great phone overall, and same goes with the cameras. Now, of course, sometimes the cameras don't do that well, like in certain lighting conditions. It seems to overexpose things like the sky and sometimes my face if there's light on my face. But in a lot of cases, it's actually really good. Now, the rear-facing camera is a 16 megapixel IMX 298 sensor with an f2.0 aperture, and it can shoot 4K video and 128 frames a second slow-mo, and it has optical and also electronic image stabilization. The video is really good and stable from what I have seen. And also, it does take some pretty good pictures. As I said before, depending on the lighting conditions, some photos will turn out completely disgusting, and some will turn out pretty well. And of course, this is one lens, so you can't really zoom in that much without losing quality. But I did take a picture of a Tesla Model S the other day on the road, and I think I zoomed in all the way, and it didn't look half bad. And the same goes with the front-facing camera. The front-facing camera is pretty good. It's a 16 megapixel Samsung 3p8 SP f2.0 aperture lens, and it can shoot up to 1080p video. And honestly, the video looks really nice on the front-facing camera. And of course, so do selfies. They look really good and very high quality as well. And to be honest, I can't really complain about the cameras because they're pretty good, and most of the time you will get decent shots with this. And something that I absolutely love about not just the OnePlus 3T but all OnePlus phones is their dash charge technology. Dash charging is really good. This is probably one of the fastest charging phones that came out in 2016, and still to this day it holds up pretty well. Like in 15 minutes I can get around 50% charge or 75% charge or something like that, and it is blazing quick at charging. Honestly, it is really, really good. It also has a very, very quick fingerprint sensor. Like, this thing is really fast. And another really, really good thing that I love about the OnePlus 3T and also OnePlus in general is how fast their face unlock is. Now, of course, I know what you're saying. It's not as secure as Face ID, but still, it is really, really fast and really good. Like, it barely even takes a second to recognize me. Like, in a split second, it just unlocks my phone. And I really, really like that it works in a lot of different angles and even orientations. It works in horizontal, believe it or not, and it also works upside down. And also, of course, you get all of the other authentication options that you get on an Android phone. So you can use your voice to unlock the phone, you can use specific locations to keep the phone unlocked and stuff, and there's a lot of different options that you get with the OnePlus 3T to unlock your phone. A fingerprint sensor, facial recognition, and a lot of others, which is a really, really cool thing. Something else that's really, really cool about the OnePlus 3T is the screen gestures. Now, what are screen gestures? Basically, you can set up different gestures for when your phone is locked. And for example, I've set up one that when you draw a V on the screen when the screen is off, the flashlight will turn on. And you can also draw an O and it will open the camera, which is really, really cool. And of course, you also have the classic double tap to wake gesture, which is really useful. And there are some other gestures that you can set up, which is really cool and something that I love about the OnePlus phones. So another thing that this phone is so good with is performance and speed. This thing is insanely fast for a 2-year-old phone. This launches apps super, super quickly, and also within Android, you can turn off the animations completely to make this thing even faster. So this thing rocks the Snapdragon 820. Now, of course, it is an old processor because this was released in 2016. And this also has 6 gigabytes of RAM. Not even the iPhone nowadays has 6 gigs of RAM. And this thing has 6 gigs of RAM. Now, of course, that's because Android RAM management is horrible, but that's besides the point. Something that I have to give props to OnePlus for is their use of space. Like, they have the navigation buttons on the sides of the home button. Something that I actually find annoying is that sometimes I tend to tap on them accidentally, especially when watching YouTube videos or playing a game. I accidentally tap on the home button. It's very annoying. So yeah, that's it for the good stuff. Love the phone. It's really good. It's fast. It's super fast at charging as well. Fast fingerprint, cool facial recognition. Now let's get into, you know, the bad stuff. The battery life on this phone wasn't too good, and that's probably because this phone isn't new. It's a couple of years old. Now, of course, probably if you buy a brand new or an almost brand new OnePlus 3T, you won't have that issue, but still, this thing doesn't have a big battery inside it, so battery life won't be as good as like other phones on the market right now, like today. That's kind of one downside. Another downside is that this doesn't have water resistance. It has no water resistance whatsoever. So if this falls in a pool, or this falls in your toilet, or it falls in a sink, rest in spaghetti, never forgetty. Another thing that's really annoying about the design is rock gate. Because the back of it is a little bit curved, if you lay it on a table and you push on the sides of the screen, it will rock on the table, which can be a little bit annoying. So yeah, there you go. That's the good stuff and the bad stuff. With every phone that there's good and bad stuff, there is sometimes some stuff that is so bad that you can't really classify as bad because it's horrible. Some may say ugly. So the first thing that I absolutely hate about the OnePlus 3T is the earpiece. The earpiece is so quiet. Now, I don't know if it's just this particular model that I've got and because of its age, but the earpiece is horrible. The other day I was in a shopping mall and my mom called me. I replied and I had my phone up to my ear and I could barely hear it, and I had the volume on full and still the earpiece was too quiet. And another thing that I hate is the bottom speaker. Because it's just one speaker grill, you can easily cover it and rest in peace sound. And also the bottom speaker is not loud enough either. So speakers aren't really good, but I mean, this is a super budget phone and like I can't really complain too much about it. They work, So that's I think the only part that counts. Also, another problem I have with this phone, that I have with any phone that runs this software, is Android. I'm not a fan of Android. Also, the fact that this doesn't get updates immediately and it takes a couple months kind of sucks. I mean, at least it has Android Oreo. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Android, but that is down to preference. Android is not for me. Like, it's not for me. Maybe it's for you, it's not for me. So there you go, guys. That is the good, the bad, and the ugly of the OnePlus 3T. And should you still buy it in 2018? I think yes. If you don't mind Android and you don't mind having a little bit of like a non-loud earpiece, and if you're in the market for a smartphone and you don't want to get one of the latest phones because they're a bit too expensive and out of your price range, then I'd say definitely pick up a OnePlus 3T. This phone will not disappoint you. It is fast, it is really good, and honestly, like, there's not really much I can complain about this phone because I actually really enjoyed it. Again, massive shout out to Dave West for sending his OnePlus 3T out to me for a couple of weeks to try out. Of course, I will be sending this back to him. Go check out his channel in the description below and up in the cards. He does tech videos just like me. And of course, if you want to buy this phone, if you want to buy the OnePlus 3T, then I will leave some affiliate links in the description below, which you guys can check out. Highly recommend this phone. And of course, if you did enjoy this video and you want to see more videos like these that are not like iOS related, then let me know by smashing that like button down below. And of course, if you hate me now because I like the OnePlus 3T, then that other button seems to work as well. And of course, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about OnePlus as a brand. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Let me know. And of course, if you're new around here and you haven't already, be sure to smash the subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. You can get into my videos early and you won't miss an upload. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Benji from Tech, and I will catch you guys in the very next video.